You're watching SportsBeat.
The Toronto Raptors are one win away from their first NBA title. They can close out the Golden State Warriors in Game 5 Monday night in Toronto. This seemed improbable even just 4 games ago.
Right, definitely. You know, the Warriors needing a bit of a boost, though. Today, maybe they've gotten one now. Kevin Durant practiced. He's listed as questionable for Game 5. He hasn't played since Game 5 of the Western Conference semifinals. That was against Houston a month ago.
A resilient Warrior team. We've been our backs against the wall before with this same group. I mean, even last year being down 3-2. Obviously, it's a little more daunting being down 3-1, but usually when our backs against the wall, we respond the best.
I wouldn't say we're down at all. It's mostly just we're anxious for tomorrow to just get out there and play a great basketball game. And I think we're confident in that fact that we can do that.
You got champions coming in here, and they're going to play their butts off and play extremely hard. So for us, it's just, for me, we still got to just focus on us and take it one possession at a time.
We'll see if Toronto can make history Monday night. Now to baseball. The Salt Lake Bees got rocked by the Round Rock Express last night, 19-5.
Yeah, it's been pretty lopsided. They've been outscored the first 2 games of this series by 24 runs. Now, the nice thing about baseball, though, you don't have to think about it for long.
Yeah, back at it for a Sunday matinee. Top of the 6th inning, the Bees get the Express in a hot box. The runner is out at second. Then they get out the runner at home. It's a double play. Round Rock manager Mickey Story disagreed with the call. You can imagine how this ends. Yes, he was sent to the showers. This would go on for quite a while. Bottom of the 6th. The Bees' Matt Theis breaks a 4-4 tie with a 2-run home run, and it turned out to be the game winner. The Bees, with 10 extra base hits and a 6-4 win, they finished the homestand on Monday.
Pretty good rebound there. All right, let's jump up to the big leagues. No love lost between the Giants and Dodgers. This is one of baseball's most bitter rivalries. And in the first inning, the Dodgers' Max Muncy crushes that pitch by Madison Bumgarner into McCovey Cove. It was the only run of the game. The Dodgers, they still have the best record in baseball. Their 45th win of the season.
You know, I hit the ball, and then he yelled at me. He said, "Don't watch the ball, you run." And I just responded back, you know, if you don't want me to watch the ball, you can go get it out of the ocean.
I love the Dodgers-Giants rivalry. Have you ever seen back-to-back-to-back home runs? Well, now you have. The Washington Nationals hit 4 straight homers in their win over the Padres. First team in MLB history to do it twice. They did this back in 2017. Padres pitcher Craig Stammen allowed 4 home runs in a span of 7 pitches. Get this, he allowed just 3 home runs in 1,167 pitches last season.
I guess he was due. All right. It's a toss-up, the most famous stealing of home plate, either Jackie Robinson or Benny the Jet Rodriguez, right? But today, it was all about Rougned Odor from the Rangers swiping home in their game against the A's. Part of a 3-run 8th inning. The A's, though, still had one more run. The Rangers lose 9-8.
The Brewers completed a 3-game sweep of the Pittsburgh Pirates with a 5-2 win. One fan left with more than just a bobblehead thanks to Mike Moustakas. His 20th homer of the season hit the roof of that SUV in right center. It broke a tie and was the difference. I mean, somebody won that thing. Christian Yelich hit his 24th homer as well in the win. All right, we begin great clips this week with a very creative troll job by the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, do you remember the good old days of TGIF?
Of course, I never missed it.
No doubt. Well, after winning games 3 and 4 in Oakland, they created their own version of Full House called, wait for it, Raptors House.
Great clips of the week.
How are you going to top that? That's amazing. Well done, Toronto Raptors.
Good stuff. And they fit pretty much everyone into that.
And they certainly own the Bay Area right now, no doubt about it.
Whole roster.
All right, Kumar Rocker is a pitcher for the Vanderbilt baseball team. He passed up a likely first-round selection in the MLB draft to go to Vanderbilt, and last night he made history. A no-hitter against Duke in the NCAA regionals with 19 strikeouts. Vandy went on to beat Duke again today and lock up a spot in the College World Series.
What an outing. Well, Ole Miss outfielder Ryan Olenek shows off his glove and his hops in this game yesterday. That's a beaut right there. He just climbs the wall and pulls that one back down. Didn't let it go.
Another great catch from college baseball. North Carolina right fielder Dallas Tassar tracks this one down, catches it in foul territory, and then flipping over the wall with grace. Great catch.
Nice landing. Well, yesterday in the Angels game against the Mariners, we saw the back-to-back-to-back-to-back. Well, Tommy La Stella, Mike Trout, and Shohei Ohtani did them one shorter. Back-to-back-to-back, right? 3 in a row. Homers.
Guys, underachieving.
It was a 12-3 win for the Angels. Those 3 homers came in a span of just 4 pitches. So 3 out of 4 ain't bad. It's the first time the Angels have done that since 2016.
Hitting so many homers in Major League Baseball right now, we just kind of, it's oh well, no big deal.
Old hat. Standings, too. On Wednesday, Red Sox pitcher Chris Sale became the first pitcher since Lefty Grove in 91 years to throw 2 immaculate innings in the same season. Now, immaculate inning, that's when a pitcher strikes out all 3 batters in the inning with just 9 pitches. Sale also did this just about a month ago, back on May 8th. Ridiculous. Filthy.
When's he going to do it again?
Next month.
Oh, man. The Twins avoided a 3-game losing streak to the Indians this week thanks to Max Kepler. 3 home runs on Thursday night in 1 game to help the Twins beat Cleveland 5-4. Again, no big deal, right? The Twins with a cozy 10.5-game lead over the Indians in the division standings.
It's ridiculous.
All right, it's time to pay some bills. When we come back, a conversation with Tony Finau as he prepares for the U.S. Open.
Yeah, also, Utah Athletic Director Mark Harlan, he's in studio after completing his first year with the Utes.
It's awesome to be in this position, and it's awesome to have our young people, get excited about this.
Big expectations for Utah football. The Pac-12 not meeting expectations nationally, and a big addition coming for Rice-Eccles Stadium. We cover it all with Mark Harlan coming up.
I don't know about that hat.
You like it?
No.
Have you ever seen the show Peaky Blinders on Netflix?
Never.
I haven't seen it either. Kyle Whittingham takes on his former player on the links. Kyle is our guest on the latest edition of the Hallowed Grounds. We also get to take a look at his golf swing. How's the game going, Coach?
I wish I could pull off wearing that hat that Tom's wearing. Can't do it.
You're watching SportsBeat.
Scary news out of the Dominican Republic tonight involving Boston Red Sox legend David Ortiz. He was shot in the lower back at an entertainment center in Santo Domingo.
Yeah, according to ESPN, a doctor who performed surgery on Ortiz told the Dominican TV station that Ortiz is out of danger and a man suspected of the shooting has been detained. So let's hit the diamond now, where the Marlins were hosting the Braves. Today, a play of the day nominee, Ozzie Albies. Incredible turn for the out there. The Braves were down 5-1 in the 9th, but after they score a run on a balk with one swing of the bat by Ronald Acuna Jr., we are tied. 3-run homer makes it 5-all. Both teams would score in the 10th. Game still going in the 12th. Single to left by Matt Joyce gets the job done. The Braves are now 7 games over 500 with a 7-6 win.
One of the great rivalries in baseball, Cardinals-Cubs. Bottom of the 8th, Carlos Gonzalez, a solo shot, his first homer in a Cubs uniform. And the Cubs sweep the Cards. They've won 6 of 7. For the archive this week, it seems appropriate as we watch the NBA Finals to dig up one of the great Finals moments for the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, the 1997 NBA Finals. Game 4. The Jazz totally revived the entire state with a win in Salt Lake City to even the series at 2. This play was the difference.
Bulls up 2 games to 1, and Jordan comes up short. Stockton fires down on the line, and the Jazz have taken a 1-point lead.
John Stockton had 12 assists, none more important than that one. Karl Malone had 23 points, 10 rebounds. Those 2 points completed a rally and put the Jazz on top for good in the final minute.
Well, when he threw it and I looked up, I said, oh, no. But then after I saw it go right over the top of Pippen's head and looked like he almost got a piece of it. I haven't seen it on film or anything, but then when I saw Karl just soften up, looked like he had it in his reach. It was a great play.
Year one is in the books for Utah Athletics Director Mark Harlan. It was quite a year of highs and lows, a year of tragedy and triumph. What stands out to you most about this first year at the University of Utah?
Well, I think it comes down to the people, the incredible people that I've had a chance to meet. Starts with our student athletes and our staff and our coaches. Just an incredible group of people all pulling for the same goal and working together. And of course, also our fans and our donors. You know, there's a lot said about University of Utah coming in here about the incredible support, but it's been absolutely overwhelming and particularly memorable as I look back on the year.
One of the things that stood out about this year in my mind was the long-awaited Pac-12 South title for the football program. You have to be happy with where the football program was. You gave Kyle Whittingham an extension. Why did you decide to give him that extension, and what motivated you to do that?
Well, I think for me it was really just starting to sit down and work with him. And, you know, they always talk about the system that he has at the University of Utah, but I needed to get in that system and learn about all the things that he was doing. And all that I learned was that, you know, he's such a special, unique coach and perfect for the University of Utah and the way he molds young men. And so for me, it was a no-brainer. You know, obviously the on-field success, but more importantly is the, you know, incredible graduation rates of that program. The GPAs are up. Every single metric that you look at is up, so why wait?
And this year, the expectations are even higher. And
That's right.
It's not often that the Utah football program in the Pac-12 has a target on their back as a team to beat, but that's the case. Are you excited to see how they respond to that?
Well, you bet I'm excited. And I know Whit would say it's day by day. We ignore that stuff. It's win the day, and that's the way it should be. But it's awesome to be in this position, and it's awesome to have our young people, you know, get excited about this. And our fans are excited, 98% renewal rate for football. So it's a new place for us, but it's a place I think we're going to get accustomed to.
A lot of football fans curious about football scheduling. I think a lot of fans would like to see a bigger name in the non-conference. What's your philosophy on that?
Well, the first thing I'll say is the football schedule is set for years to come. It's part of what it goes. But we're looking at blending in more Power Fives in future scheduling patterns down the way. Certainly we have the rivalry with BYU. Tom, Holmo, and I have talked that if it makes sense to take a year or two off, we could, or we can maybe fit it in at the same year. It's things that we're looking at now. Certainly the Michigan model of a few years back worked really, really well. But what we do know is we want to schedule to get to the Final Four. That's our destination that we're always going to shoot for, and we're going to be very strategic as we do so.
Excellent. The state of the basketball program. I know the last 3 years they haven't made the NCAA tournament, and you know the standard here.
Sure.
It's pretty high.
Absolutely.
What's your evaluation of the program where it stands right now, where it needs to go in the future?
Well, I think that we all want to be in the postseason, not just for basketball, for all our teams. That's the expectations at the University of Utah. I think what I saw this year was Larry molding a young team that needed to come together. Picked well low in the league, finished in the top 3 of the league, got the bye, didn't play the way we wanted to in Vegas. I was hoping we could make a run there. Didn't happen, but we got better as the year went on, and I think that's what's really important. We want to be in the tournament. Larry wants to be in the tournament. We're going to continue to do all those things to make that happen administratively, working with him. We've had some key additions to the staff, obviously. We're excited about what he's done there, but we're going to continue to work together to get the Utes where we want them to be.
And next year got more challenging because Donnie Tillman's taking a leave of absence. I'm sure you perhaps maybe were surprised about this news. He just decided he was coming back.
Well, Donnie's a great young man. You know, we're blessed to have 550 student athletes competing at the U in 20 sports, and so always things are going to come up. And you know, Donnie came forward, and you know, obviously we know he's been managing the health of his mother for quite some time, and he just felt like it was time to be closer. And so we respect his decision. We'll miss him. He was a really fun guy to be around. Obviously, you know, you don't run from the fact that you'll miss him. I think there's some depth now going forward on the team and some of the new guys we got coming in. So we'll move forward. He'll move forward. But we really wish him all the best.
Moving on to the Pac-12, I know there's been a lot of stories and a lot of focus on the current state of the Pac-12, where it stands with the other Power Fives. And, of course, it's always keeping up with the Joneses, as you know.
That's right.
That's a great responsibility that you have to do that. Where do you see the Pac-12 right now? Where does it need to go to get better?
Well, it's been a year of being in the news for the wrong reasons. I don't think, you know, I should run from that, nor does Commissioner Scott or, frankly, any of the other athletic directors. But when something like this happens, or events like these happen, all you can do is come together, confront it, and deal with it. And I think what we've seen since the October officiating embarrassment, you know, for example. We've been able to meet since then and really work on change. What's been really good out of all of this is Larry has really created a more inclusive environment that involves all the athletic directors and the presidents and chancellors, I believe, working at a level that we never have before. So we're going to confront the things that are ahead of us. Key to that is we've got to get better in football as a conference. You know, everybody has to own that. We have to get better in men's basketball. Everybody owns that. We made some changes in our scheduling philosophies in basketball, I think, to help with that, adding 2 more league games that I think will help. So we all have to own it ourselves rather than blaming. I think that's very important. And then big decisions ahead about television and those kind of things. These are 12 of the best universities in the country. We just have to collectively continue to come together more and get after it.
It sounds like you mentioned you know, not running from these things. I mean, has the athletic directors, presidents, felt the need to really hit these issues hard?
Absolutely. I mean, we've had some meetings that have, you know, been pretty candid about different things that we all can do better. No one's holding back. And I think that's helpful. Out of conflict, out of those kind of conversations, I think comes really good results. So again, we're going to work together. Commissioner Scott has really looked at things he's done in the past and things he needs to do now. We're working together collectively. And, you know, listen, sometimes competitive nature things are cyclical. I think we've kind of been on a bad cycle of it. I think it's our turn now to get back at it.
Well, it's certainly been a great time for Utah football, and things are looking up, and now you look at the stadium expansion. You have to be so excited about this. I know when you came in, you knew this was something that was important, but you didn't have a chance to really dig into it. Now you have. How excited are you to see this thing roll forward?
Well, very excited. You know, Dr. Hill, my predecessor, did such a phenomenal job on this feasibility study. Kyle Brennan, the deputy athletic director, as well. They handed it to me when I got here, and I just went through it. I had a lot of questions for Chris and then others as we went through the process, and it was so clear it was time to go, right? We just had to make sure that the financial model was solid and that there were donors to support it. And the Garf family came forward with a monumental transformational gift for us along with others. So where we are right now is we're right on schedule. We have our contractor on board. We have our design team on board. We just visited a bunch of institutions. We're going to visit more shortly. And we're going to come out with something I think everyone's going to be really, really excited about it. And it'll be ready to go for the 21 season.
How much does that benefit your program, and also how much can it benefit the community when this is done?
Well, I think the program will be profound in that we're going to completely gut and fix the whole operational center. You know, the Clark building had run out of time. That's the best way I can say it. And so we're going to have a nice locker room, training facility, press room.
Thank you.
The visiting locker room will be fine. It won't be anything that needs more to be. You know, it'll be fine. So that's going to be great for us for recruiting and for game day operations. And then to create all of this club space and premium seating, and then to also have chair backs. We're going to add an additional 1,000 that we already had in the south end zone, taking us to about 51,444 if you're counting. It's going to be great. And then that space can be rented during the week through our friends that run the stadium and auxiliary services and others. So everybody benefits, but it certainly will lift our football program. And when you lift the football program, you lift the whole department.
Let's be honest, no one's going to miss the current south end zone facility.
We're just going to get through the next few years. You know, we'll duct tape. We'll get there.
Well, it's so exciting. So many exciting things. Year one in the books. It's great to look back on it, Mark. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. And good luck next season.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Can't wait to see that stadium. Well, hey, what was it like for Tony Finau to play the final round of the Masters with Tiger Woods, and how is he preparing for the U.S. Open and giving back to young golfers in Utah? We have the conversation with Tony right after this.
Look at him snapped it back into play. Doing fantastic. So, doing fantastic. Ask me, I'm doing fantastic.
Yes, the next big one coming up, the U.S. Open beginning Thursday at Pebble Beach. Tony Finau still seeking that first major win in his career.
And before he left for Pebble Beach, I had a chance to sit down with Tony, look ahead to the Open, look back on his impressive performance at the Masters, his involvement with the Utah Championship, and giving back to young golfers here in Utah.
When I think of Web.com Tour, I think of the grind. And you went through that grind. What did that grind teach you, and what did that do for you to propel you to where you are now, where you can compete at the highest level? Yeah, the Web.com was huge for me. It teach me how to travel, you know, outside of playing.
a lot of what we do is a mind game. You know, not only playing, in between shots, what are we thinking? When we travel, you know, what are we thinking? There's a lot of things that go into it. So that was a huge part. And then learning how to win and compete at a high level. I had that confidence coming off the web and knew that if I could win on the web, why can't I win the PGA Tour? So those are some of the things that I learned on the web.com tour, and it's truly the best path to the PGA Tour.
With your foundation, I know it was a great moment for you to receive that $40,000 check.
It was.
How important is it for you now that you've made it at the highest level to be able to give back and to be able to help grow the game of golf here in the state of Utah?
Yeah, it's a huge part, and it's a huge part of who I am. You know, I feel like I've come from humble beginnings. It'd be very selfish for me to gain some of the accolades that I have and not give back. You know, I feel very strongly about that. You know, about my community. I've grown up in Rose Park, as well as just everywhere here in Utah. I feel like through the game of golf, I've learned like a lot of great things, and I've met a lot of great people. This game has so much to offer, and I would have never known that if I wasn't involved in the game. But to be able to give back now through this Utah Championship, alongside with Utah Sports Commission, is something that's very cool for our foundation.
You're having a great year, top 15 in the FedEx Cup standings. We all saw what happened at the Masters.
Yeah.
What was that experience like at Augusta, playing a final round with Tiger Woods, shaking his hand at 18? Was it surreal for you? What was that like?
Yeah, it was really cool. You know, I think I look at it a little bit different than most guys. When I think about the Masters, I thought I had a great chance to win, you know, and that's how I look at it. But outside of that, it was very special to be able to play alongside Tiger and watch him make history. I think it's something that our game needs Tiger, and you know, to continue to grow. He brings something to the table that even none of us younger guys can bring. That there's an excitement about Tiger and what he does, and just the aura of him that brings so much excitement to the game. So that was really cool to be a part of that. You know, I came up short. You know, in my first, I think, true attempt to win my first green jacket. But we'll get after it next year.
We're glued to the TV every time you play. I mean, can you sense the support here in Utah and the excitement that people have to see you make it at that level?
Yeah, you know, I hear it quite often. It seems like there's a lot of people from Utah out on the road that come out and support and watch, and that's really cool for me. I think Utah's one great big family, and I definitely feel the support of my fellow Utahns and native Utahns. So it's something that's very special, and I'm grateful for the support. It's really humbling.
You've had all the success, and people are going to ask you, why can't you do more? They want more from you. How difficult is it as a player to be patient and to take time and go through, you know, not skip steps to try to get to that point where you are winning those tournaments?
It's extremely tough, you know, to be patient. And I'm at a time now where, you know, for me, you know, I'm chasing that next victory. I'm chasing that second win on tour, and after the second, I'll be chasing the third and the fourth. But, you know, I've learned, and, you know, a lot of people are quoted, it's all about the journey, you know, and I'm enjoying, I always feel grateful to be able to do what I do for a living. I've come from very little and just a lot different background than most of these guys that are playing on the PGA Tour. You know, and it's not that I look for petty or anything like that. It's just true that I truly have come from different circumstances than some of those guys, and it's something that's very cool for me to be able to play at the highest level and compete on a weekend basis against the best players in the world.
It's so fun to watch your journey, Tony. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Jaron.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Great to catch up with you.
Thanks.
The Utah Championship will take place at the Oak Ridge Country Club in Farmington from June 24th to the 30th. Well, just in 81 days, BYU and Utah will open the 2019 college football season, which means Kyle Whittingham is running out of time to work on his golf game.
Got to get those cuts in. What better way and who better to give him a quick on-course tune-up than our very own and the Utes' very own Tom Hackett in this edition of The Hallowed Grounds.
The Hallowed Grounds, brought to you by Siegfried & Jensen.
Welcome into this week's episode of The Hallowed Grounds. Coach Kyle Whittingham is joining me. You guys know the drill. He doesn't. Winner of this hole gets their choice of a $100 gift card, or take me on in closest to the pin for the Bushnell range, finder valued at $500. He needs one. He needs one. Play some golf. He cleared that trap.
Yeah. Tell me something I don't know. I don't know about that hat.
You like it?
No.
Have you ever seen the show Peaky Blinders on Netflix?
Never. That'll work, Tommy. You've been working on your game.
You like that?
You've been working on your game. Yeah, I do. We're moving that out.
Why?
Because it's not fair.
How long have you been coaching at Utah?
Oh, geez, 26 years.
Wow. So now's probably not a good time to tell you I just turned 27, right?
You did.
I know.
Congrats.
Thank you. Congrats on 26 years at Utah.
How's the dad bod going?
Does it feel like 26 years?
Not at all.
Really? Like, have expectations been this high since you've been there? I haven't been around
I
nearly
can't
as
recall. Definitely not since we joined the Pac-12.
Certainly not.
Yeah. What do you got in your hand? 56?
I got a pitching wedge.
That's right. You're not very strong, are you?
No, I'm not strong, but I'm going to bump and run it.
Okay.
Coach, you've been working out a bit too much.
See, I got to warm up on the range.
It's the biceps that you have on your arms.
The biceps. Oh! That's a gimme.
That's a gimme, okay.
Good par.
I think I won.
Well, you won that hole, yeah.
So here's the problem that you have.
Came right out of a staff meeting, so I run down here and play you. Don't expect too much.
The Bushnell's no longer up for grabs. That's the problem.
Why? Let's go play that hole.
Go replay the hole?
That was the warm-up hole.
Like, if you benched now, how much could you put up?
I have no idea.
You do. You know
I have
exactly
no idea
how much you could put up. Flying through his teeth.
That's going to be pretty good, Tommy. Got to go. I think it's in the trap. So I didn't win squat.
Well, unfortunately, things didn't work out for Coach today. He's in the sand on the par 3. I'm on the points. I won. I really wanted that, which I couldn't find. It's just not going to happen. Thanks for coming out, Coach.
You bet.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was so disappointing.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I got to keep my rangefinder.
Hi, Lindsay Myers, assistant golf professional at Willow Creek Country Club, here today to help you get it out of that greenside bunker. Think about the distance that you have from the green. Choose a club selection from there. Usually on a greenside bunker, you want either your sand wedge or a club with the most bounce. I like to get my feet a little bit wider than my hips and shoulders and kind of flare my toes out and do a couple wiggles with your feet until you get down so you have a good stance, steady stance. And then from there, I put a little bit more weight, about 60% of my weight on my left leg, and kind of keep it flexed. Keeping your left leg planted and flexed is the key for solid bunker shots. Just like so. That was perfect.
Hi, I'm Steve Williams. I'm with Cleveland Golf Srixon. I've been the rep here for about 12 years. Today I'm here to talk about Cleveland wedges. We have been a leader in the wedge category for, seems like forever, but we don't make just one wedge. We make a wedge for everybody. We introduced the CBX. At address, it looks like a blade wedge, but it's much, much more forgiving, much larger sweet spot. This thing is fantastic. And then the face of it's the same as our blade wedge, so it's got grooves on top of grooves on top of grooves. This thing spins the ball great, super forgiving, and can be in way more players' hands.
This week's Player of the Week is Reed Nilsson after he won the Utah Mid-Amateur event at Valley View Golf Course after posting a final score of 4 under through 54 holes. Nilsson has now qualified for the 121st Utah State Amateur Championship held at Soldier Hollow Golf Course. Congratulations and best of luck, Reed.
Utah Golf Association is best known for our championships, but one of our biggest purposes in the state is handicapping. Golf is one of those games that you can play from 3 years old all the way until you're 90 plus. And a big part of what we do is making sure that all golfers can play on an equitable basis, which is the handicap system that everyone works off of in the state. The best place to find information on the Utah Golf Association is uga.org. If you're interested in our Vets on Course or Youth on Course program, you can also visit the Foundation's website, which is utahgolffoundation.org.
At Smith's Ballpark on Saturday night, the banana led wire to wire in the produce race. The carrot, not so lucky.
The carrot catastrophe.
Oh, man.
Eat dirt. Better luck next time.